Hey everybody, welcome back to the Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. Dave here on this Labor Day weekend. Hope that you had a great last long weekend of summer. As always, building the cool kits. I'm taking a break from building the kit I'm working on right now, which is this AMT 65, or in this case 64 Malibu SS. This is what I'm doing for Jason over at Blue Ox Model Shop. The group build's going on through the end of December. It's a street machine group build. I have done a few things to it. I've done a couple other things off on the side, but after test fitting things, I went on ahead and did some motor mounts, which I'll be cleaning up and putting onto the cross member there. I cut out the front cross member. This is an Iceman Collections one-piece unit with stuff that you can put on for your wheels, brakes, and shocks, struts, what have you. But I cut out this piece here so I could extend it forward. That way I can get the blower belt and everything in place and then mount the radiator and electric fan. But as you can see, I've already got motor mounts, which I took off of the Pro Stock 66 Chevy Nova. Pro Street, that is. I got those mounted off to the side. I'm going to clean that up a bit. The interior, I got it looking pretty good. I had to go to the very back of the interior tub, and I had to use my Dremel to sand this down. Otherwise, the chassis kept popping out from the bottom, and I wanted it to be a nice flush fit. So I got that taken care of. And then what I also did, you can see here, I actually cut out the floor pan by using my Tamiya blade and got that cleaned up. That way I could use the stock dashboard. I'm still going to cut out the stock dashboard and put in a panel with gauges and some photo etched gauge surrounds and what have you, because that's what it looks like in the car itself. As you can see, I still have things in the background. Looking here, this is off of the Hot Rod Magazine website. I'm debating whether I leave the rear seat in place or if I go on ahead and do all 10. I can do all 10 because, of course, this one has it, and it'll also give me the chance to do the roll cage and everything, but I'm still kind of on the fence on that one. I'm also on the fence whether I open up the trunk lid or not. I think I might. I mean, it doesn't seem to be too major an issue to open up the trunk lid, and I think I might very well do that, because if I go back a couple of pictures here, one item is that I could definitely, I've got an Iceman Collections fuel cell, I've got a couple batteries, a couple of Optimus as well, and this would kind of be cool to do some engine tin, kind of clean it up, or what have you. For the wheel wells, I've got that from the chassis itself. This part's also part of the chassis, and then I can just use tubing for the roll bar. But again, I'm still debating. I kind of like the idea of, you take this thing to a cruise night. Yeah, you've got your roll cage, but then again, you lose the rear seat, so you only have one person riding with you. So I don't know. I might leave it as is. I've already cut out the middle to accommodate the floor pan from the 66 Nova Pro Street. Also, I have to do some major work up here with plastic to fill in this place, especially around the transmission tunnel to the firewall. And then, of course, this will cover it up mostly, but still, I want to kind of have a nice little setup, because if I can get this done the way I'd like to, this might be a kit that I take to some model car shows next year to see if I can display it along with some others. So that's one thing I've got. So, like I said, I've been working on it a little bit here and there. I've got another kit I'm working on in the background, but I wanted to share with you what I picked up at the NNL 6 that was held on August 12th in Grimes, Iowa. Sponsored by the IPMS Glue Brothers. And it's pretty cool when you go to a place like that. Last year I bought a couple things. This year I bought a few more things. I know I still have to get some more parts for my Fairmont Pro stock. But what I picked up, I think you'll like. I picked up a couple of built kits. I picked up a kit that I've been looking for a long time. I got them all at pretty good rates. And my daughter and I both love reading reference material. So the guy that we bought a couple, well, probably about a dozen magazines from last year, he had some cool stuff this year. We just couldn't pass up, especially after he gave us a really good deal on them. So I'm going to share those with you. So let's go ahead and get started with that. For the magazines, the guy that was selling them, we bought the Miata, which I built on this channel. I bought a Ferrari from him as well, which I'll eventually build. But this time out, he had some magazines. So here we have from November, December of 1999 all the way to November, December of 2000. So at least a year and a month of a magazine called The Replica. The Replica here is a magazine that's done bi-monthly for Ertl and Racing Champions collectors, and it's kind of cool. And these are in excellent condition. Show you one item. I noticed it on the cover. This here says "From the Track," page 33. I have, and I think this is an Ertl one, but this here, Plymouth Superbird, right here, I have the one, not from Ertl, but from Danbury Mint. That one, along with a Pro Stock Corvette and a couple of other ones, back when Danbury Mint really had some cool stuff, is what I've got. And I love it. I don't think I'll ever part with it, but I'll have to show it to you at another day, another time. But this is kind of cool. I mean, when you look through this magazine, I mean, a lot of NASCAR. I've built this kit before, but that's 1/43rd scale. I built mine on 1/24th when they were those Pro Modeler series. I collected die-cast cars back when I had an apartment and I didn't have a roommate. I had one room dedicated to nothing but these guys, you know, the American Muscle stuff. And what's kind of cool with that is I probably bought different die-cast each month, and it was over at Higgins Plaza, Texaco. Older guy, he had a nice little shop off in the back where his tire and wheel shop was at, and I, like a lot of people, went over there. He had a lot of nice little die-cast stuff that I couldn't afford, but the Ertl ones were really good. And then this is one that I remember. This is the premiere issue of Ertl Blue Printer, and this was from January, February 1987. Okay, and if you notice, it's just a small little magazine. A lot of it's hand-drawn. You know, there's some AMT Ertl Classics. I mean, how many of these cars do you think you've built? There's that 65 Chevelle wagon that's making its rounds as a reissue now. There's a 67 Nova SS. I think I've built like a dozen of those. I've built the Buick Riviera. In fact, that one's got a nice little pride and joy space here on my model shelf with the two-tone paint scheme and the AMG rims that I put on them. And then I just looked at kind of some of the other ones. It's like I have built so many of these and then have lost so many of them to time. One of my favorites has always been that 71 Roadrunner, black with the strobe stripes. Always thought that was cool. But it's just really neat what they've got here. And what's really neat is he had every issue from January, February of 1987 all the way through, see right here, all of these. The last one of the blue printers that I think here that he's got is this one from July, August of 1999. See where they've gone to color about a year and a half in. Actually, no, stand corrected. September, October of 99. So this is kind of really good. And then this is when he introduced the Replica. So that's the other set of magazines that I showed you. But again, this is just way cool. It's going to be a lot of good reading, a lot of good reference material too from what they had back in the day. I just can't get over how excellent a condition these magazines are in, and I'm going to go on ahead and kind of put these in some clear protective cases. There again, there's more of your 18 scale die cast. I always like the big engine and the intermediate, in this case a larger car too, the Super B. But it's just really neat. And yeah, I'm just really glad that we were able to find a really good deal on these magazines. I bought a couple of built model kits from the same guy. He had them in these little grab bags for like 10 bucks a piece, or if you bought 3, paid 25 bucks. And a lot of them were actually in pretty good condition, probably just requiring a little bit of cleanup. And I'll show you the first one here. I think, I'd like to say this is the Bad Man. I am not exactly sure. I stand corrected. But this one, I don't know if I want to put this here and display it. See if that shows up a little bit better. Okay. This one, if I remember correctly, this is the 55 Chevy, and it's done up like a gasser. The chassis, pretty straightforward. And these were probably built some, 20 plus years ago. But I look at it, and he has what looks like a twin turbocharger in the engine bay. The interior looked pretty sharp, although it's done in black, and you can barely tell this. It's if you look at it one way, it's black, but then if you look at it, it just hits you the right way. It's purple, metallic. And this one's just probably going to require a little bit of a cleanup, and then I'll kind of gloss it up a bit. But again, 10 bucks for a built kit. Is it a pro built kit? No, it's a 20 plus year old kit that's probably been sitting on the guy's shelf for a while, and then he's selling them to make room. So snag them up at a good deal if you ever see them in any model car shows or swap meets, what have you. The next one that I picked up, I actually thought was pretty cool because I'm a big fan of these. I love me a Merc. And this one here is a chopped Mercury, and I'm trying to remember if this is the Revell kit. I looked underneath and I couldn't tell, because if there was any markings on it, he sanded them off. But it's got, painted chassis and suspension components. He's got the Pro Street rear end, and looking at that, the interior, can't tell too much. I kind of like this, the Chimsel, that center high-mounted stop lamp. The interior, you can just barely make out that it was green, and steering wheel, it doesn't look like it was painted, but I'm not going to quibble. I think it's kind of cool. It's a very satin green paint job. Again, just a little bit of cleanup. Open up the hood, and what do we have for the motivation? Well, we got a tunnel rammed, what looks like a big block, and fits in the engine bay just nicely. And then of course you've got your Merc grill and whatnot. I think it's kind of sharp. And what I like doing with these kits is I like looking at how other people built them. I've bought other people's kits before that are built, as I'm sure other people have bought mine when I've had my garage sales and I've parsed out my collection. But it's kind of cool to see how someone else builds their kits and what kind of details do they use. Like this guy, he did a lot of bare metal foil. He did a couple little pieces of work here and there, so I kind of like it. And then the last one that I bought actually caught my eye because it stuck out like a sore thumb in the bag. And then when I pulled it out, I was like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. Well, there you go. This one is a really low to the ground Pro Street Mustang. I'm going to say probably a Mach 1. It has a cool custom tail lamp in the back. Then I looked at the tires and rims, and if you look at them carefully, the front rims are definitely from the Lincoln Mark 7 LSC that has been re-released in the past year or two, and I believe the rear, same way. So the suspension, at least, is from the Lincoln Mark 7 LSC. And then I looked at the engine. If I remember correctly, same thing. It's got your fuel injection, twin turbocharge, single carburetor. I could definitely just kind of paint detail that out. I think it's pretty sharp. I like the way it sits, I like the way it looks. The engine, sorry, the interior, if you look at it, I'm gonna kind of shine a light here. I just happen to notice something. There you go. There you go. Even put some shoulder harnesses on it. And then the rear end, or sorry, the engine, the dashboard, everything looks pretty sharp about it. And the paint. This paint job is pretty good. And there's some orange peel on it, but it's been sanded and glossed pretty nicely. And ultimately, I like it. I think it's pretty sharp. So for starters, I'm a Tbird fan, and you usually see these Tbirds from Hot Wheels sitting on my desktop. And I like the Pro Street ones from the 80s from Ricky Smith and from Bob Glidden, which someday I hope to get. However, they had a Ricky Smith there for 65 bucks sealed. It was, I think, the 84 to 86 series. There was a couple of Bob Gliddens that were around 80, 90, and then I was looking for a Pontiac GTO and from 1970, and unfortunately the same MPC GTO that I really want so I can get some parts off of it, sealed, 80, 90 bucks. Hopefully someday I'll find a Junker or Glue Bomb 70 GTO that I can take stuff off of so I can build that Holy Go. But what I did buy was pretty cool. I got, for a really good deal, the model version of that Hot Wheels car. This is around circa 1994. This is the Matt and Debbie Hay Pro Street Thunderbird. Again, this one's pretty sharp, and it's in that Pepto-Bismol pink, and apparently everything's in here. You know, the glass has not been used. Nothing's been started on this. I looked at all the parts. Some of them have been taken off, but everything is molded in pink. And of course, obviously, when I go to build this, and yeah, it'll get built, definitely going to get painted in a different color other than this pink. It'll be painted pink, but I just don't know what exactly. The kit was started a little bit. There's a lot of the chrome tree decals and detail. The decals, I think, are salvageable. Looking at that, I think I can maybe dust it off a bit, put some clear over that, let it sit, and then I should be able to reuse those. The dashboard was started, but I think I can get that steering wheel off and detail that out. Then there's the front nose piece that would go in there, and then of course Pro Street hood, and then your door panel. And when I looked at it, I did notice they did have the tires and rims for all four. Looks like they had started it, but you know, didn't do a great job with that. And then I looked at the rims, and of course he started building one, and I'm gonna have to really salvage this one, take it apart, and probably do something different for the tires and rims, because this one looks like somebody chewed on it, but it's also probably been sitting in the box long enough that I've seen this with one of my other kits where it kind of started, I don't know, crazing, bubbling, whatever you want to call it. And I've seen some model car articles where they got another kit and then they just redid it from there. But I am definitely going to build this one. I might go to Iceman and see if I can pick up some different tires and wheels for this and go from there. Try and see where I can find that pink paint that I can paint it, and then do the two-tone silver and then have the decals. So I think this is great addition to my collection. But last two items to show you. One, I went to my local hobby shop, Hobby Haven here in Urbandale, and they've got a consignment shelf with an increasingly large amount of models, and there's one that I want to go back and get on my next payday. I'm not going to say anything about it because if I do, I'm afraid somebody will snag it. But I only had budget for one, and this was it. Another sealed Matt and Debbie Hay Pro Street Thunderbird. So again, circa 1994. This one will not get built anytime soon. This will be kind of like the inspiration for the other one. Pretty sharp. And it does say circa 1994, but I don't see any website stuff on this. This is probably a 30-year-old kit here at this point, which is fine. You know, I think it's great. If I remember correctly, Hot Rod magazine had this one out first, and then it got reissued, I think, in the 2010s, early 2010s, and I think it was just the Pro Street Thunderbird. It didn't have the Hot Rod logo on it. I don't even think it had Matt and Debbie Hay on it. But this one I've seen at the web for 60, 70 bucks, and I go, if I could snag one for cheaper than that, I will. And 30 bucks. Paid 30 bucks for this. That's less than a new kit most of the time. I saw that Moebius had come out with some of the repops from Galaxie. Big fan of Galaxie models. I built one long time ago of the 48 Chevy sedan that you had the front grille pieces for, you know, I think a 46, 47, or 48. I had my daughter with me and I said, you know, pick one of these three. They had one left of the one that I ended up buying. They also had the 48 sedan, and then they had the other 47 or 48 that you could build a different style. She chose this one. This is the sedan delivery. I think Chelsea made a great choice on this one. Now I'm trying to decide which year I want to do, whether it be 46, 47, or 48. They do have the grills for all of them. I looked at the parts already, and they are excellent, excellently molded, and the like a gray plastic. I like it. I think this one, I told Chelsea, I said, whatever one I buy, I want to kind of do it low, like that. And I don't want to really hot it up or anything like that, but I'm hoping, I've looked in the kit, I haven't seen one, but I would really love to put a swamp cooler on it for the outside, you know, the old air conditioning ones. But this is one that'll eventually get built. I mean, there's just a ton of parts on this one, and of course, if you look here, there are a couple of your grill options. Sorry for the lighting. But yeah, this just looks sharp. And I'm really looking forward to building this one. So, it was good seeing Moebius use the Galaxie molds once again. And they were excellent kits when they came out under Galaxie's name. I still have a couple of Galaxie's trailers that someday I might build. But it's good to see that they're doing that. But that's it, what I've got for today. Got some vacation time coming up where I can really hit this some more. I would like to have this one ready to go and pictures taken of it so Jason can check it out. But tell me what you think on this. Should I leave the seat in there and build the roll cage around it, or should I just go on ahead and do just like the car from Hot Rod magazine? It's not going to be the exact same thing because, one, this is a 64, and this model, sorry, this is a 65 from Hot Rod magazine, and this is a 64. But I do intend on doing the same paint scheme that was on the car all those years ago, which still holds up to this day. There's the magazine and there's the paint job. I still intend on doing that. So I don't know, should I do the tin or should I leave the seat in place? You tell me. Leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm going to go on ahead and get some stuff done. My wife should be coming home from work soon, so I've got to get dinner on the grill. In the meantime, continue building the cool kits. Let me know what you're building, and we will catch you in the next video. Take care.